All right, so welcome back. I wanted to do a quick review of the Leverpresso Pro. I've had this for about a year, close to now. What you see here is the Leverpresso Pro, and it's sitting on the older stand that Hugh supplied. Uh, the reason why I'm using the older stand versus the newer stand is that there's a pretty large difference in price, and this stand does exactly what I needed to do. I was able to purchase a scale off of Amazon that fits just fine in here. So everything works just great. I'm not going to pay more for a stand that does the same thing. What I like about this, I like that it has a pressure gauge here. That pressure gauge is very legible. It's very easy to read, very easy to use, and it's very helpful as well. Now, my Leverpresso Pro looks a little bit different than your average Leverpresso Pro because, as you can see here by this banding, I have two different types of insulation, and then it's wrapped with the silicone ring that it comes with. I use a aerogel infused insulation as well as a reflective, heat reflective insulation. The heat reflective insulation is against the metal body itself, and then the aerogel infused insulation is wrapped around that, and then you have the silicone band that's wrapped around that. Now, I'm not going to be holding your hand through this review. The reason why I'm doing this with the insulation is for heat retention. It's an issue you're going to have whenever you have huge pieces of metal that you're pouring something hot into. They're giant heat sinks. They absorb the heat. So what you need to do is you need to prep your giant pieces of metal, in this case, this apparatus here. It comes like this. It also has a cup that it comes with as well. And you actually don't need the stand. You can just connect it to the cup, and everything sticks together real tight. You don't need the stand at all. So the way that I use this is, what I'll do is I'll boil water in the kettle. I will fill this thing up with the hot water, and I'll let that water sit there. While the water's sitting there, I'm grinding my beans, and then after I've ground my beans and I have prepped my steam wand, I go ahead and I pour the water out by lifting these levers into a cup, and then I fill it again with boiling water, and at that point I'm WDTing my beans, and I am steaming my milk. When my milk is done steaming, I then empty this apparatus again, and for a third time and final time, I fill it with boiling water. I screw on the portafilter, yeah, we're ready to go. This is a tedious process. It's not for everybody. I find it meditative. It's not a big deal for me, but I do also have this right here, which is the Picopresso with the gauge attachment as well as the stand. It's great. It's a lot faster. And the preheat is a lot faster, and I do find myself using this quite a bit. It's a wonderful tool, and the espresso that you get in the end is very comparable in my opinion. I would say that if you're being very nitpicky, what you can get out of this is a little bit better. I would say marginally so, incrementally so, okay? Outside of that, negatives that I have with this apparatus. One of the negatives is that the new stand is very expensive. Everything about this product is very expensive. Needlessly so, in my opinion. The value that you're getting out of it doesn't add up. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's made out of metal. But guess what? When you tear this thing down to clean it, you'll see that the plunger has some plastic in it. You'll see that it's not machined very well. So when you're trying to clean it, there's sharp edges in here, like especially on the bottom. Like the inner edge of this is very sharp. When I was trying to clean it, I actually cut myself. I'll give you an example. When you see this here, that is the screen that comes with this. You pull that out, and you clean that as well. It's got a silicone gasket around it. When you pull that silicone gasket off, It is a extremely paper thin flat piece of metal that is super sharp all around. There's nothing been done to it to blunt that sharpness. It is very sharp. You can hurt yourself very easily. You have to stick your hand in here inside of this tube to clean this thoroughly, which I would suggest doing at least, at least once a year, you will hurt yourself. So be very, very careful. The way that this came to me, the way it was packaged, it was very haphazard. Things were strewn about inside of the box. I bought this directly from the manufacturer, Hugh, so it was really odd to me the way that I received it. Actually, it was bordering on unacceptable. Because I noticed that all the parts worked just fine and there were no issues. It came with everything it was supposed to come with. There was no damage that I could see. I just accepted the hit because it takes a while to get to you. You're gonna have to pay customs fees when it does eventually get to you. Yeah, so I mean, you don't want to really go through that trouble all the time. Really not much else to say. It makes a good espresso. Is it worth the money that they charge for it? And all these other accoutrements that you can purchase from their website as well. I'll leave that up to you. It looks great. It works great. It is comparable to other manual espresso machines that are on the market. If this is your style, if you like to, meditate around the process of making your morning coffee, then yeah, sure, this is for you. I like a light roast. I have to actually preheat this 3 times. I've measured it with a thermometer. That is exactly the number of times that it needs to be preheated, and I'm saying that that is with all of this modification that I've done for heat retention. If you don't have this done, who knows? I can't guarantee anything. Again, this right here is a great option. Great option, great competitor, wonderful shots, love it to death.